We are now joined by Hofstra head coach Mike Farrelly following his team's 68-67 victory over Delaware. Again, if you have a question for Mike, please use the raise your hand feature in Zoom, and we'll start off with a opening statement from Coach. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, certainly good rebound performance from the other day. Didn't have the energy effort on Friday, and we came in searching staff meetings, team meetings, etc., about what this team needed. And it's not a our X and O's. We're going to continue to get better at that stuff, but it's the way that we approach the game. And can we make energy and effort our two non-negotiables, our two constants? So we needed to do that. I was up all night Friday night. I'm looking up articles, and I found an article from Kentucky about Calipari talking about playing the right way and going out and fighting and playing hard all the time. And Oregon State the other night loses by 34, and Wayne Tinkle's talking about energy and effort being the two non-negotiables. Michigan talking about their great start. They've had the right energy. Everybody in college basketball is dealing with it. It's a unique and different year. Obviously no fans, no crowd to play off of, whether you're at home or on the road. So creating your own energy, and it's certainly not just affecting us. I think it's affecting a lot of teams. But we did a good job channeling that, obviously to get off to a great start, and then made it real interesting down the stretch. But made a defensive play at the end to seal the victory.
Our first question will be from Owen O'Brien. Go ahead, Owen.
Hey, Coach. Yeah. On that fast start also, how much of it was maybe just having a sour taste over what happened on Friday and really coming out strong to open things up?
Well, I mean, all we talked about for the last 24 hours, we talked about after the game right away on Friday. You could just sense the different energy level that we had. So that's what it came down to. That fire, that fight, that start. And I told these guys, I said, now you messed up because you showed us what we can do, but that's now got to become the standard. You don't build a habit in one day, right? So we have to work and practice on that all week long, and then need to be able to bring that next energy when we tip it up again on Saturday. But we did a good enough job to do it for one day, but now how do we build that habit to make that a constant? That's who we have to become.
Our next question will be from Jerry Beach. Go ahead, Jerry Beach.
Hey, Mike. Obviously, Delaware in that last possession, they didn't have a timeout, and you guys played pretty good defense there, obviously. What does that do for you? How good does that make you feel? Obviously, you stopped them, but they couldn't even get a shot off with no prep, no time to go things over with you. Was it safe for them that they were able to kind of handle that in that situation on the fly like that?
Yeah, no, really good job. Play to your principles and play hard and make multiple efforts. And you didn't have a blueprint. It wasn't, hey, they're running A to B to C, right? Just make plays. They set looked like two ball screens up there for Ryan Allen late in the possession. And Kevon Kramer came all the way out and said, you know what, Ryan Allen, you made those shots the other night. You're not making them tonight. So did a great job. And then I don't know how the kid was open over there in the corner. I think Tariq had two on his side, which is something that we work on in practice. But he did a great job on the closeout, not allowing that kid to get a shot off. So we figured it out, and that's what you need to do. Sometimes, and we talked about this a little bit the other day, sometimes we feel like these guys look for the answers to the test, and we try to give them the answers to the test and say, hey, this is what they're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's not, hey, they're going to run this play. It's what's your energy, what's your effort like? Are you going to make multiple efforts like we did on that last possession to make sure that we get a stop?
Our next question from Andrew from WRHU. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, Coach. Andrew Bachgalupo, WRHU. In this game, your team was able to force 20 turnovers, resulting in 22 points off the turnover. Was defense one of those things that you stressed onto your team before this contest?
Yeah, certainly, Andrew. It always is. That's got to be the constant. We have to be a team that's always going to defend and going to rebound on both ends, offensively and defensively. Some nights you make shots, sometimes you don't, right? That's going to come and go depending on the day. But the constants are your energy and effort defensively, and then how do you clean stuff up on the glass. We didn't do a great job this weekend on the glass, so that's got to improve for next weekend, especially with given who we're playing. So that'll certainly be a focus. But yeah, that's who we have to be. That energy and effort, and causing 20 turnovers and disrupted them with the zone a lot more. Watching that tape yesterday, after watching it about 7 times myself, but we watched the whole game as a team yesterday. We sat down and watched it. Just kept saying, like, is this what we want to look like? We look flat-footed, we're straight-legged, all that stuff. And we just said to the guys, you know what? All we need to do is change one play a half by each guy. The game the other day, it ended up being big, at the end because they made some shots and we didn't. But it was a 2-possession game, 4 minutes to go. So he said, hey, change one play from each half and we'll win. And we did.
Our next question will be from Jermaine from WRHU. Go ahead, Jermaine.
Hello, Coach. How you doing? Jermaine Howerton of WRHU. Congratulations on the bounce-back victory. Can you just talk about Caleb Burgess for a second? He's been coming into his own in conference play today, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Is it you guys as a coaching staff giving him that confidence, or is it him just figuring things out as games progress?
You got to give credit to the kid. He's been great. And I think with Caleb, I've had this conversation with him, and I've said to him, when you don't play hard, when you don't play with energy, you're not one of the best starting point guards in this league. When you do play hard and play with energy like he did today, and you said, Jermaine, 17, 6, and 5, and 3 steals, when he does play hard, then he is one of the best point guards in the league. But, again, this is the standard, and it's got to be all the time. And we probably, look, obviously we're shorthanded. We're short numbers. For him, he played 40 minutes the other day. He had no break. Today he played 36. Didn't get him enough of a break. And that was only because he had fouls, right? So hopefully we can get some more bodies back and be able to spell these guys a little bit more to keep them fresher and keep that energy level high all the time. But no, it's on the – have we given him confidence? Sure, that's what we try to do as coaches, but it's on him. He's done an unbelievable job growing and developing and getting better, but he's got to bring that energy all the time. And like I said, if he doesn't bring it, he's just okay. When he brings it like he did today, then he's pretty darn good.
Gotcha, Coach. Thank you.
Our next question will be from Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Mike, 2 questions quick. Kevon had 3 offensive rebounds in one sequence there late in the second half. Didn't result in points for you guys, but is that the kind of sequence that can kind of maybe define the team a little bit, even though it didn't result in 2 points in the basket? I got one more.
That was maybe the craziest possession of all time. Looking back, I said to my guys, next time that's going on, just tackle me and make sure we call timeout, because it was getting unbelievable hustle, unbelievable work. And, Kevon's relentless. Kevin was in there getting offensive rebounds in that same sort of stretch. So did a great job. And look, think about Kevon's tip dunks. And look, Kevon came out with more energy today too. Look, these guys didn't recruit him. He grew up 15 minutes away from here. And don't worry, he was reminded of that a couple times the last couple days. But he came out and played hard. And that's what he needs to bring. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals in 28 minutes. That's a good line. He didn't have the same energy every day. He brought it today. And again, he messed up because now it's the standard. That's what he's got to do every day. And when he does that, he's a special player. But he has to bring that energy. But yeah, in terms of that possession, Jerry, it was really good. Hopefully next time we have a possession like that, we can come out with 2 points though.
And you're up 20. You win by 1. Obviously, to lose that game would have been a gut punch. Probably a better question to ask you on Saturday after the Drexel game. But do you think this is the kind of win where you can get a little bit of momentum because you kind of dodged disaster and pulled it out with a pretty good defensive stand at the end?
Yeah, you know what, Jeremy? Look, any win is going to help, but we still have a lot to learn. We did not have a great defensive effort in the second half. So, kind of seeing and I didn't do a good job calling enough plays. We didn't make shots in the second half. I thought we got some good look, but again, things that we have to evaluate and get better. Momentum's a little bit hard because now we don't play till next Saturday. So you have a week off. You play that team twice in a row, all that stuff. So. Any win's going to help your confidence and your esteem and everything like that. But how do you grow from wins like you grow from losses? I think that's important and be ready to go for next weekend. But, the biggest thing, momentum, all that stuff, we have to practice the habit of working hard, of playing hard, of playing with energy and effort all the time. The non-negotiables, like the Oregon State coach said. And that's what we have to work on all week this week to make sure that we're ready to bring it next weekend.
Our next question will be from Owen. Go ahead, Owen.
Yeah, jumping off of that question also, just what some things that you can kind of learn about as a team when you guys have a big lead at halftime, things aren't going too well in the second half, but you still come out with a last-second victory. Yeah,
you have to be able to dig and get stops, and that's how you can stop some runs. And like I mentioned earlier, that's got to be the constant. We always have to defend us that they probably shouldn't have. It was in that mid-second half. They had 3 big guys in at the same time, and shouldn't let that happen. But that's got to be the constant. When teams are going to go, again, like you said, you can't control making or missing shots on a day-to-day basis. You know, people say it's a make or miss game, and look, we made 3 threes today, 3 for 17, which is not good. But the defense has to carry it, you know, and it certainly didn't all half in the second half, but when we needed one, that showed some guts to be able to step up and get that last stop.
Mike, last question for me. Can you comment on Jalen Ray's week, and then also Stafford Juhart's minutes today gave you some much needed time off the bench?
Huge. And yeah, and overall, thank you, Stephen, for mentioning that. Let's talk about Kevin in that mix as well, coming in playing 9 minutes. Hadn't practiced all week, didn't do anything yesterday, obviously didn't play the other day. So for him to come in and battle and play hard for 9 minutes, terrific. You know, Staff's been out for a long time. We haven't had him, and certainly a veteran who knows what it takes to win championships and to win games. So he came in with good energy, made a big jump shot in the middle of the paint when they went to triangle and 2, and then 3 block shots. So excellent job by him. Good to have him back because he can help us with making some of those plays. And then Jalen, you know, had a couple of bad turnovers, but you know, he goes out there every game and is number 1 on their scouting report. And today they trapped some ball screens with him. You know, he was making a bunch of shots coming off ball screens the other day. They made that a little bit harder for him today, and he overcame it. And you know, that's when you're a really good player. You know, when anybody has a role player step up, you have a good game here or there. But when you're targeted on a scouting report and saying, how are we going to shut down and limit Jalen Ray? And then you still have the 2 performances like he did this week, shows what type of player he is. You know, and he's on his way to an all-conference type of year. That was one of those things that, you know, Delaware had a couple of guards that were on the preseason all-conference list over him, and that was one thing that was brought up the last couple of days as well. But credit to him, he's had a great year, and he's got to continue to lead us that way. That's got to be a constant too. You know, we need him to be very good for us to get where we want to get to.
Thank you, Mike. Travel safe.
Thank you.